All right, everybody, gonna shoot a real quick video here to show you some of the color changes and quality improvements that you can achieve through heat treating your coral if you're working with agatized coral. Again, some of this stuff is such high grade you really can work it raw, but not most. Most coral is gonna need a little bit of heat. And I'll start off by showing you a couple pieces that I've already hit. So this was a spall that I went ahead and heat treated, and then you can see I took one hit on the side right here, and you can see how glossy it got from this roughness to this glossiness. And I can see a little blue in there, and again, it just has a natural shine to it versus this that looks a little naturally rough. Took a little flake off of this side, and again, from the rough, you can see right away it revealed this nice, pretty glossy blue. So there's going to be some blue and orange all through this piece. First candidate there. Went ahead and heated this one up. Okay, it's a nice spall off of a big chunk of rock. And you can see how rough this is. It's nice and coarse. There's a lot of little crystals in here, and it is really, really, really rough. I've seen people leave this kind of rock out in the field thinking, hey, that's crap. Definitely not crap. You just need to heat it up. Went ahead and took a hit off of there. And you can see what it looks like afterwards. Even this would make a nice Hillsborough. It's thick enough. It's probably half-inch thick. So we could, and I'm probably gonna do that a little later, knock this bulb of percussion off, have this, the thick wide base, come up to a point here. I think that's gonna make a great point. But you could take a couple more spalls off of this and then make something really nice out of this large spall. So again, from rough to nice and slick, there's some blue in there. I'm sure the further you get towards the cortex, the more blue you're gonna see in the seams and those little color bands. Okay, so that's number two. Number three, this guy was already looking good, but I went ahead and heated it up, and after taking a flake or two, it revealed this nice slick orange color, kind of like I think I've called this like a peaches and cream type thing. It's like a creamsicle type. You get all clear with a lot of polyps, and you have that creamsicle orange on the edge. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. This is translucent. It's like an inch thick still. I think I took a little flake right here too, and let me see. Here you go, here's the flake I took from here. I don't know if you can see how slick that is, but really slick now. So this piece, even though it was high grade and probably could have worked this raw, it still would have left a lot of those little, there are tears in the rock where it doesn't break clean. It kind of leaves these little tears at the edges, and you see that a lot in raw rock. But once you heat treat it up, man, that stuff's beautiful. So there's three pieces. Look really good through color change. Uh-oh, neighbors are starting to party. It's Friday. I'm gonna go ahead, and I've got a couple more here. Now this rock, I went ahead and knocked into it, and it looks very solid. It looks like a really good rock. It's got a blue seam right around the cortex there. So I set this aside. I'm gonna probably cut this on a slab saw later, but I went ahead and heated this little spall up that came from right there. Okay, heat treated that. So I'll go ahead and knock a first little hit into this, and we'll see what it's looking like. And I always like to be careful because with the cortex all the way around the edge, these things have a tendency to, like, you hit here and the end will just pop off, even though it's really nice and thick. So again, try to stick to that side-to-side policy still. It'd be a lot harder to take a hit off of here because we still have all this chalky cortex. So, and if you wanted to leave this the tip, we don't want to just knock this off. So I'm gonna go ahead and start back here and just knock right a little into this bottom edge. That sounded good. Okay, and you can see a lot slicker than this side. We're not seeing all the colors yet, but we will. Go ahead and take another hit down here. Okay, there's that blue band right there. Really pretty. You can see it's flaking great. Could have probably taken a little more heat even, but I'm not complaining. So that's some pretty good, not a huge color change in this, but definitely glossed up, and that blue wouldn't really be as present. It looks like a thin band there, but it does kind of bleed out a little bit when you heat. So that's gonna be really cool looking. All that cortex is a chance to leave some blue in the piece because it's hiding in like, 1/4 of a centimeter layer between the cortex and that orange. So it's difficult to leave in the piece, but if you're thinking about it along the way, you can definitely do it. Why not? I want to take one more. Okay, you can see that blue right in there. Really nice. Probably make a little cabochon out of that if you wanted to, but of course I could make about a bazillion cabochons out of my flake pile here. All right, that's the fourth specimen we got to look at. And again, heat treat this baby, saw it up. We got a nice, solid, no cracks, and a lot of beautiful blue in there. So if we're gonna make knife blades or something like that, and you think about the way you cut it, you could leave that whole arc of the cutting edge to have that blue line on it. And as long as you don't nap too deep into the piece, boom, you get something awesome. So set this to the side, on to the next. All right, this is some old stock I've had for a while, site they dug up. I raided all the rock before they threw it away. And this site was pretty much all white, clears, and blues. But I almost see like a little bit of orange in here. So this was just a head. I went ahead and knocked the side off of it. You can see all the coral polyp tubes going up here. That white solid mineralization on the side that really tells you, hey, this is a nice, it's basically patina, but that's a good indication for me that it's gonna be a good piece of coral. And looking at the whole piece, I'm gonna go ahead and, oh wait, I'm gonna knock this down a little and knock one back that way, just so we can kind of get an idea. Sounds really good. I don't know if there's any little surface cracks or anything like that, but I'll go ahead and get an idea here. I don't know if you can see how glossy that got right there. Very glossy. Look at this thing. This is gonna come up this way anyways. Give it a little bit of grindage here, and we'll take a flake off the side right up here. Again, just so we can get an idea how glossy that is. See how this looks nice and rough, and then this, wow, this is super glossy. It's a little bit of blue, a little bit of white. It doesn't just look white, definitely has a little tint to it. Maybe it looks gray. I think it all depends on somebody's eyes. Gonna need to remove that big ridge and have to get this hump off the back. And you know, coral is weird like that. It's not in this geometric perfect shape. There are humps and knobs and strange things all over the place. But man, it's a fun material to work. That cortex just totally absorbed that hit. Right here, it'll take it. There you go. Sometimes you got to hit that same piece of cortex like 3 or 4 times, and it beats through the softness to where you have a little hard piece, and then boom, your hit actually takes place. And you can see, ooh, that's so slick. Slick, slick, slick. And a nice, from that color, which is kind of white, to boom, that color, which is kind of blue. So, successful heat treatment of that. This looks ugly. Don't know how it's gonna be, but guess what? I still heat treat stuff like this, because if it's no good, you can just throw it to the side. If it is good, guess what? You would have totally missed out on it. And hey, sometimes I've got more time than rock. I've got a lot of rock, but you get what I'm saying. All right, so I knocked that down a little. Gonna just rough it up so it's not, even that looks crappy. All this stuff flew off. Now I can actually take a hit here on the corner. So I'm gonna go ahead and send one into this rough side. We'll see what it looks like. And sending into the rough side, closer to the cortex, the better the rock's gonna be. So this really gives us an indication of like, what's the worst we're dealing with. And it blew the whole side out. Not in a bad way. I mean, that was an overshot flake. So you can kind of see that from this that looks like concrete to that, which even though there's some little crystal pockets and stuff, hey, that flake traveled. Let's see here. A lot of cortex on the outside of this. Go ahead and send another one back this way. Look at the orange in there that's coming out. Beautiful. Didn't know that was hiding in there. More orange hiding right there. See how thick that cortex is? Just chalk. But pretty rock hiding in there. You can see there's a natural crack hiding in that. I think I see it running through here, which sucks, but hey, doesn't mean you won't get anything out of the rock. Might just be in the cortex. These are all natural things you gotta work around. Let's chalk off of here. Pretty rock though. So you can see this orange right here, that's an old break that's healed. And it mineralized that color. So it's definitely, I don't know how deep it is though. It doesn't look like it came through this side. So if we keep napping the top off, we get this big hump off, might be able to nap down through that crack where it looks like maybe it only goes to here. Okay, so that's pretty cool though. And again, crappy rock to good rock. Did all this in a turkey roaster. I'll explain that in un momento. Look at that rock. See all the little crystal seams through here and all this? This is like, ew, but guess what? It's still good rock. All this might be right here and it might be perfect another centimeter underneath. So we went ahead and heated it. You see that nice pretty orange in there. Look at how glossy that is, that bulb of percussion on the base. Okay, that heat treated really nice. It's gonna take a minute to work through stuff like that. Very thin. Looks like there was some kind of fault in there. Kind of see a re-healed mineralized area. But that's how you find them. You get bopping on stuff like this. Good. Hit another one here. And I tell you, this side doesn't have any of these crystal pockets, which is good news. Pretty orange in there. Really good looking. And just trying to bring this edge over here. Not napping too much, but I'm going to take one off of this side and we'll see if we can get up under some of this and get into some clean rock. Sure looks like it. I mean, even though it was crappy, that way less holes in it. Looks really good. Shoot another one from here. Just keep working it. Might run into problems, but again, that's some of the fun with coral. So, all right, got these pieces. This other piece again, nice orange in there. Crystal pockets here. Keep working all the way around it. Natural break up into here from something, I don't know. Yep. And then there were two. Actually gave me a break right in the, there we go. There's crystals, got them out. So now this is a good piece. I'm sure I could make this into something small. Maybe, or not sure about that. All right, let's move on to the next piece. This piece already looks all right, except for I see a crack in it. I see a big crack going right down there. I don't know if we're gonna be able to just, and maybe it doesn't go all the way through, which that's a good thing. There we go. They almost look like little heat cracks. I don't know. There's a lot of little holes in here, so it might have been some leftover moisture. This one doesn't look too bad now. I see a bunch of these little cracks in here, like pot lidding. There's just not much rock on here. If you look at this, that's all cortex, and then you get a little rock right here. Whoops. Knock over the tripod. You're not gonna get anywhere if you're swinging and hitting chalky cortex. And you gotta at least make contact with the rock. Got a hold of that piece. Now that, if you really wanted to sit down, you could probably get something out of that. See another little mini crack there. Some more cortex up on the side here. Hit this from here and take this off. Probably have enough to make something. All right. And then you get this piece, basically a whole little coral head. Some dirt in here that's been stuck on it for millions of years. You never know how this is gonna work out. Could have a bunch of internal fractures on something like this. I see some good color right here, but I didn't want to try to spall it because it's already pretty small. There we go. Get into it. Oh yeah. Looks pretty nice and glossy. I see orange and clear glass. Let's see if we can toughen that spot up a little bit. And then send it down that ridge in the back. That all looks nice and glossy. Now, what do we see here? There's a weird little crack going up in here. Until we spall a little, I mean, definitely heat treat it good, but until we spall a little more off, it's not easy to see what we're working with. That crack might run all the way through. Oh, well, guess it did. Got us up into the solid of it though. That's just the way coral is, guys. There's a lot of this is, again, it's 30 million years old. And it's gone through several ice ages and all kinds of other crap. And when water gets inside of it and it freezes, the water expands and it leaves freeze cracks. No, Florida doesn't freeze that much, but we're talking 30 million years. So it's like, it's not just what we're seeing now, it's a whole long time period that this could have happened. But okay, that's looking really good. That is super glossy. I don't know if you can really tell that by the video, but it is. And it's looking good. Kind of zigzag way around this. Maybe take one more little shot off of here. Now we don't have that raised ridge anymore. Kind of none of these are real strong hits. But that's because we're just working into the face. Now here I can take a nice one and get into that cortex. Looking good, looking good. This is gonna be thin, getting this off, but I think that was a good little video, kind of showing some heat treating, showing what I got going on here today. I've got a lot of other stuff over here to hit. A lot of other stuff I'm heat treating. I think, again, just to show you, for instance, here's a big pinhead blade that I just started knocking out the other day. Here's all the flakes off of it. Big old ugly head of coral. But it's still flaked once you set up the platforms. Big crystal pockets here. Not that thick. For how long? I think it's like 9 inches or something. Not done. But got it down to a point where I said, hey, I'm gonna stop. I'll put some time into this when I can concentrate. Cool pattern and all that. But even the low grade stuff can make something really cool, really authentic looking. This big ugly boy here, all these crystal pockets hiding in there. It's still flaked pretty good. That side's, I'm sure, still good. It's just getting this crap off the back. All right, enough talking. Hope you guys enjoyed. I will have plenty more rocks for you to watch me smack in the future. I just have pretty low speed internet out here right now at my farm, so it's a pain in the butt to load these videos. This is another new rock area I kind of set up. This is my, after I'm done spalling, I've got a bunch of raw coral right here. Some of them are small heads, and some of these are heads I've already spalled apart that I'm in the middle of heating. And then little heads here I need to heat. Then we've got, I've got some, heck, these are big, large, colorful coral flakes here that I know can make smaller Hernandos, Pinellises, things like that. Got some Flint Ridge flakes. I've got some Avon Chert flakes. This is a bunch of random heated coral. These are all like kind of clearish white, a little bit of color in there. Some other small heads. And then these are spalls I've been heating the last couple weeks from all of this stuff that I've recently found. And then I got all kinds of stuff. I've got some stuff I traded for over here to make some atlatl pieces and just some grinded stonework. I've got some bay bottom chert hiding back here. I've got a whole bunch of bifaces. There's probably a couple hundred coral bifaces in here. They're not all bifaces. Some of them are just preforms. But then I've got a bunch of Flint River from Jeff Head that I got not too long ago. Haven't really worked any of that, but I love that material, so I just went ahead and stocked up on a little. And yeah, and a lot of this coral, heck, this is still really good coral. You can see that clear in there. Beautiful. But I'll just stockpile it here for now. A lot of rocks. And then again, square number 2, this is where I can do my spalling. I've got all kinds of crap that is no good. I've got some good stuff. I got all kinds of stuff. And then my main coral circle here, where I do a lot of my napping. I've got a bunch of flakes I've been saving down here by color for some friends doing some art projects. And then I've got a lot of high grade stuff sitting on the edge that I'm getting ready to heat, and I will saw eventually. But I'm not sawing it yet because I don't have time. All right, hope you guys like the update in the video. I'll be back.